Look at that tree, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's a nice tree. Look at it. Look at that tree, man. It's a nice tree. Damn bugs. Alright. Today I wanted to talk about a simple yet profound mindset shift. It has really helped me in a lot of ways, and I thought it could help a lot of other people. So, this is not my idea. I'm not taking credit for it. I got it from this Reddit post I saw a few years ago. The post is like 7 or 8 years old. I'll link it down below. But just the ideas that this guy had, I thought were so simple. It's so helpful, and I thought I'd share them. So essentially, this guy made a post replying to someone else who was asking for help, who felt lost in life. And he proposed this idea that there is 3 different versions of yourself: the past, the present, and the future. And it's important to acknowledge all 3. So obviously, you are the present self. You can only exist right now. You can only exist within the present, right? You can't go back in time. You can't, go into the future, right? So the past you and the future you are your best friends, and you need to treat them as such. So the first step being to forgive the past self for his ignorance, his mistakes, like all those regrets you have about the past, all those things that you wish your past self had done differently. You need to let it go. And I think viewing your past self as someone like a separate person than your current self is important, because you're not identifying with that anymore. You're not emotionally involved with all those mistakes and regrets, and you can just let it be what it is. Now, your past is always going to follow you. That's just like a rule of life. You can't escape that. It's important to man up and deal with that, but you need to emotionally detach from the past you. Stop beating yourself up. Stop holding all these negative emotions, because that's only negatively affecting you. Just letting it go, learning from your mistakes. Another important thing is to thank your past self. Maybe the good things that you did. You picked up this habit or this hobby, or you met these people. And you should thank your past self for that. And if you're struggling to find things to thank your past self for, just thank for the experience, the learning opportunities, because with every failure and mistake, there's a lesson that can be learned there if you choose to see it. So I think that's really important. Just letting the past be the past, man. Not identifying with that anymore. Moving on, because it is what it is. You got to deal with it. You're not benefiting from, constantly dwelling on or getting emotionally involved. Now, and then your other best friend, the future self. This is the guy you got to look out for. This is the guy that you do anything for. You got to have his interests at all times. Just constantly thinking, what can I do today that can make the life of my future self a little bit easier? How can I put him in a good position? How can I allow him to succeed so that he doesn't have to try to clean up my mess? How can I, benefit him? How can I invest in his life? How can I help him be successful? When you start thinking like that, just life changes. There's a lot less worry and anxiousness when you're constantly doing things that are going to pay off in the long term. I think when you're constantly, indulging and trying to reap rewards, there's a level of anxiety associated with that, because you really are fearful of the future. You don't feel prepared for it, and none of us are ever going to be prepared for the future, but, you can do things that can put yourself in a good position. And I think, you start looking at your future self as your best friend. So I ended up having to cut the video right there. My legs were just getting absolutely destroyed by mosquitoes. But what I was getting at is essentially just treat it as if your future self, this person that you want to be, was there, and he was watching and judging your decisions. Would he be proud of what you're doing, of the actions that you're choosing to partake in? I think that's a game changer, man. And you start to look at life that way, kind of hold yourself accountable. This is a way to guarantee a bright future, man. And another point he made in the Reddit post on how to, make it easier on your future self was to have no 0 days. So no matter what, every single day, you take a step in the right direction, no matter how small. Maybe you can't get your normal 2-hour lift in. Maybe you can only do 10 push-ups. That's fine. That's a step. Maybe usually you journal every day and you write a page. Maybe you can only write a sentence or two. Maybe you were supposed to, do a lot of homework today. Maybe you can only do 1 or 2 problems. As long as you're taking a step, you're moving in the right direction, man. And just keeping the ball rolling, no matter what, man. Keep that ball rolling. There's a big difference between one baby step and no steps at all. There's a huge difference. So yeah, again, I appreciate y'all for listening to me ramble. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more, and have a good day. I'm about to go finish my walk.